For the record, the objection was sustained.
Mr. Francia, you stated earlier, you gave the statement, when all this, and I think you used the word, crappiness began. What were you referring to?
I guess coming out with it. Just because I had hidden it, and it was stowed away in a far-off place. And that's what I meant. It was time for it to come out.
Were you aware of your mother going on television at some time back in 1993 or 94?
I knew about it when she was finally on TV, yeah. She told me.
Objection. Hearsay.
Sustained.
Were you consulted about that prior to?
They can't hear. Who didn't hear back there? Counsel here?
Is it on or off? I can't tell. Is it on? It's on. Were you consulted by anybody prior to your mother going on television?
Was I?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Did it cause you problems when that happened?
Yeah.
And in what way?
Objection. Relevance.
It made.
Sustained.
Okay.
I have no further questions.
Can I get a jacket? It's cold over here. I think I heard them say it's cold, too. Thanks.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
My name is Tom Mesereau, and I speak for Michael Jackson.
Okay.
If anything I ask you is not clear, please don't answer. Just say, I don't understand it, okay? And I'll try to rephrase it. If you ever want to take a break, just say so, and if Judge Melville lets you, you can. But I don't want you to answer anything I ask you unless it's very clear to you what I'm asking you and you feel like you can answer it, okay?
Sounds good.
So you know who I am. I'm on his side, okay?
Okay.
We've never met before, right?
Correct.
And we've never spoken before, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Now, the prosecutor mentioned the fact that your mother, at one point many years ago, went on the television show Hard Copy, right?
Correct.
And at some point you learned about that, right?
At some point I learned about what?
Your mom going on the television show Hard Copy?
At some point I learned about it, yes.
Okay. And at some point you learned that she took $20,000 to go on the TV show Hard Copy, correct?
No.
You don't know anything about that?
I do not.
You've never heard that to date?
I have heard of it today.
When did you first learn that your mother have gone on the TV show Hard Copy and accepted $20,000?
Right now. Well, it may actually, 2 days ago, I think.
You never knew it until 2 days ago?
That is correct. The reason.
Now, at some point, your mother met with someone from the National Enquirer, right?
I don't know.
You don't know anything about that?
No.
When did you first learn that your mom had gone on the TV show Hard Copy to talk about Mr. Jackson?
When did I first learn?
Yes.
That my mom went on TV?
Yes.
On Hard Copy?
Yes.
I think it was when I saw it on TV.
And that would have been when?
I have no clue.
Do you have any idea what year?
No.
Does more than 10 years ago sound right to you?
If you told me 5 years ago, I'd say okay. This whole past, all these incidents, yeah.
Now, your mother at some point retained lawyers to represent you and she, correct?
I don't know if she got them. I don't think she did.
Well, you were really a little boy, right, when lawyers were suddenly with you.
I'm sorry?
Weren't you very little, very young, when lawyers started appearing?
I was young when all of this stuff happened, yes.
How old do you think you were when you first met a lawyer involving Mr. Jackson?
Were those two detectives lawyers?
No, they're with the sheriffs.
They're just detectives?
And you met them recently, haven't you?
No, I just met one of them right outside.
Okay, one of the two detectives that first talked to you?
Yeah, we were talking about life.
Okay, now, when you first met them, you knew they were with law enforcement, right?
When I first met them?
Yes.
I don't really know who they, no. I didn't think, yes. I don't know. I didn't understand the question, I guess.
Okay, just tell me if you don't understand a question.
Okay.
You learned at some point your mother went on Hard Copy, correct?
I learned at some point that my mom went on Hard Copy.
Yes.
Okay.
And you saw it on TV, right?
Right.
And at some point you learned that your mother accepted $20,000 to be on hard copy, correct?
You already asked that.
And I so object as asked and answered.
Sustained.
When did you first, if you remember, talk to a lawyer about anything Mr. Jackson allegedly did?
When did I tell somebody or tell the lawyer? Repeat that.
Yeah. When did you first meet a lawyer to talk about your claim regarding Mr. Jackson's behavior?
I don't remember.
Do you know approximately when it was?
I don't think I ever told Terry or Chris if he molested me or not.
Okay. Now, Terry is who?
Terry?
Terry is the lawyer?
Terry is a lawyer.
That's Terry Cannon, correct?
Correct.
And Chris is who?
Chris, I forgot his last name. He's a lawyer.
You mentioned him in response to the prosecutor's questions. Didn't you say Chris was a lawyer?
I don't remember the prosecutor's questions.
Do you have a lawyer named Chris?
Right now? No.
Have you ever had a lawyer named Chris?
I believe so.
And do you know Chris's last name?
That's what I just said. I don't remember.
Okay. Now, did I hear you just say you never told either lawyer that you had been molested?
I'm sorry?
Did I hear you just say that you never told either lawyer you'd been molested?
I said I didn't know. That's what I said.
You told the lawyers you didn't know?
No, I told you I didn't know.
You told me you didn't know whether or not you had told any lawyer you'd been molested, right?
Not any lawyer.
Okay, I'm not understanding you.
I'm not understanding you either.
Let me rephrase the question.
Okay.
Did you ever tell attorney Terry Cannon you'd been molested?
Yes.
And did you ever tell attorney Chris you'd been molested?
Yes.
Okay, approximately when did you do that?
I don't remember. I was young.
Do you know approximately what year it would have been?
I'd go with 94 or 93 or 95.
And how old were you in 93?
I was 13. Well, yeah, my birthday's May 30th, so.
How old were you when you claim Mr. Jackson first tickled you improperly?
7.5 the first time.
I'm going to object as vague when we're referring to the claim or the tickling.
I think I was. I'll rephrase it if the court wants me to. I think I was clear.
The objection's overruled. The answer was given.
Are you telling the jury that at some point, excuse me. Let me start again. As of today, you're telling this jury you've never told your mother what you claim Mr. Jackson did to you, right?
I believe in counseling. I never told her specifics on that I was molested, but I did in counseling tell her that I was molested.
Okay.
But it was it was a crying time for.
Okay, I'm not asking you about the details. Just answer my questions.
It was just hard for me to remember because I was crying.
Okay.
So, I was young, and I was 14 or 15.
So when you told the jury earlier that you never told your mother about this, that wasn't true, right?
I'm sorry, I probably spoke quickly.
So when you told that to the jury, that was not really correct, right?
I'm going to object as vague. What is not, or, that?
The objection's overruled. I'll have the court reporter read the question back to you.
Okay, record read. And when I told that, being.
Let me rephrase it. When you told the jury, in response to the prosecutor's questions, that you had never told your mother you were molested, that wasn't true, right?
I was mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, you had told your mother that you were molested, right?
Yeah. I must have misunderstood his question with the details of it. I never told my mom that I was molested 3 times by Michael Jackson. My mom, I don't even think to this day, knows that I was molested 3 times and the specifics of it. If she does, then she does, and that sucks.
Your mother went on the TV show Hard Copy in the early 90s, right?
Okay,
Do you know if that's true?
She was on Hard Copy.
She was on Hard Copy in 1993, was she not?
If you told me, 94, I'd agree. I don't know. I don't know the exact year. I do not.
Are you telling the jury that before your mother went on hard copy, you never discussed what you claim Mr. Jackson did to you with your mother?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that I never told my mom that he molested me before hard copy.
And before sheriffs came to talk to you for the first time, had you told anyone that you had been molested by Michael Jackson?
I don't think so, no.
They just kind of came one day and surprised you? Laughter.
Yeah.
Just a moment, counsel. To the audience, I'm not going to put up with that.
Thanks.
If there's any laughing again, I'll remove people from the courtroom. Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. You all right?
Yeah, I was just a little tense. Sorry.
You have reviewed the tape and transcript of your first interview with the sheriffs, correct?
Yes.
And when did you review that interview?
Like when did I listen to the tapes again? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Sunday.
And how did you get the tape?
Chris. I don't know his last name, gave them to me.
Is that the lawyer?
No, he's not a lawyer, I don't think.
Is he a sheriff?
It's a tall man.
Is he a sheriff?
I don't know, I believe so.
How did you run into him?
I met him when I met all these gentlemen.
The prosecutors?
Correct.
Okay, so Chris was with the prosecutors when you met them last, right?
I'm sorry?
Chris was with the prosecutors when you spoke to the prosecutors, correct?
Yes.
And Chris gave you a tape of your interview from 1993, correct?
I believe that's the year, yes.
And if you remember, who was at that interview in 1993?
I don't remember. 2 men. Detectives, I believe.
And where did it take place?
I already answered that to him.
Would you please answer it again for me? Where did it take place?
At the sheriff's station, or the probation. I think it was the sheriff's.
Was that in Santa Maria?
In Orchid.
In Orchid. Okay. You were given a copy of the tape to listen to, right?
Right.
And you were given a transcript of the tape to read, right?
Yeah.
And you did that, right?
Yeah.
And a detective Russell Burchim from the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department was present for that interview, right?
I don't remember his name.
Would it refresh your recollection if I just show you a copy of the transcript?
I'll object as to which interview. Talking about the 1993 one, or the recent one where he reviewed the transcript?
I'm talking about the 1993 one.
I'm sorry.
Let's get back to the 1993 interview.
Okay.
You have recently reviewed a transcript of that interview, right?
In the 93 interview?
Yes.
The tape and the transcript?
Yes.
Have I reviewed them both?
Yes.
Didn't I answer you that already?
Would you please clarify it? Because there's been some confusion.
Yes, I have.
You have listened to the tape and you've read the transcript, right?
Correct.
But as you sit here today, you're not sure who was at the interview with you in 1993, right?
I was 13 years old.
Would it refresh your recollection if I show you a copy of the transcript with the names of the people who were with you?
Sure.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to look at that transcript? Mr. Francia, have you had a chance to look at the transcript I just showed you?
Yes.
Okay. Did it refresh your recollection about who was there for that interview?
Yeah, I just read it. It said Vince and Russell.
Vince Neglia and Russell Burchim, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, did someone tell you to review that transcript before you testified?
Yes.
Who told you to review that transcript before you testified?
I'm under some pressure. Mark. It's not Mark. It's Russ. I'm so bad with names.
Is it Prosecutor Zonen, who just asked you questions?
Yes.
Okay. Did he tell you you'd be asked questions about that?
About.
What you said in that interview in 1993?
Yes.
Okay. Did he tell you to study it carefully and make sure you knew what you said and didn't say, right?
Actually, he didn't say, study it carefully.
Did he tell you to read it?
He told me to review it.
Okay. Now, You were how old when you were interviewed in 1993?
I think on that, it says the date. I could tell you how old I was.
Okay. The date was November 4, 1993.
I was 13.
13. Okay. Is that the first time you were ever interviewed by any police officer regarding Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you told the police that you and Mr. Jackson were talking to one another in that hideout area, right?
I was kind of banging I told the police that I was
talking to Mr. Jackson at a place you described as the hideout.
Yes, I have talked to Jackson at the hideout.
And that was a place where Mr. Jackson used to go when he didn't want the public or the press or anyone knowing he was there, true?
I'm assuming that.
Objection is speculative.
Just.
Did Mr. Jackson ever tell you?
I haven't ruled on it.
Oh, I thought you had, Your Honor. Sorry.
I'll allow the question. And the answer was, I assume that. Go ahead, counsel.
Did Mr. Jackson tell you that this was a place that he didn't want the public or the press following him to?
I don't know.
Okay, alright. In that interview, you told the police that you were sitting on Mr. Jackson's lap, right?
I'm sorry?
In that interview, you told the police you were sitting on Mr. Jackson's lap, correct?
In the 9311, is that this one that you're reviewing right now?
Yes.
The one you showed me? Yes.
Yes. And you told them that at one point, he started tickling you and you started tickling him, right?
Yeah.
And then you told the police, I have this blackout. I can't remember anything else, right?
Yeah, I tried to black everything out.
I understand. But I just want to go forward and ask you some questions about it.
Oh, okay.
But on that particular date, you told the police that you had blacked everything out after you and Mr. Jackson started tickling, right? Tickling each other, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You told the police you knew that Michael Jackson had a reputation of being nice to kids, right?
I'm sorry?
You told the police that Mr. Jackson had a reputation for being very nice to kids, right?
Objection. Hearsay.
Sustained.
What did you tell the police about Mr. Jackson's reputation?
Objection. Irrelevant.
I don't remember.
And hearsay.
Sustained.
You were in that apartment because your mother brought you there, right?
My mom did bring me there to the hideout.
She brought you there and she was working in the apartment, correct?
Yeah.
And how many rooms do you remember there being in that apartment?
I remember one, but I could be mistaken.
The first time you claim you were improperly tickled, was that on a chair?
Yeah.
And that was when your mom was cleaning the apartment, correct?
She wasn't in the room.
She wasn't in the room then?
She was not in the room with me.
You sure of that?
Yeah.
Well, you told the police you had a blackout and didn't remember anything after you and Mr. Jackson were tickling each other, right?
I blocked it out. I didn't blank it out. I just didn't never want to repeat that stuff again.
Okay. Do you remember, in one of your police interviews, the police telling you, this is what happened, right? And you said, well, I'll have to work on that. Do you remember using words like that?
No.
Okay. Have you looked at the transcripts of both your police interviews?
No.
Okay. Just looked at the one in 93?
I believe so.
Okay. Now, you told the police you didn't want to sit on the floor, right?
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Did you ever tell the police you wouldn't want to sit on Mr. Jackson's floor?
Are you talking about the hideout?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember saying that. I remember hearing that on the tape.
You did hear it on the tape, right?
Yeah.
And it's your voice, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. You told the police. Let's talk about the first incident you claim happened, okay?
Okay.
Now, you claim you both were clothed, correct?
Yes.
You claim you were sitting in Mr. Jackson's lap, right?
On one leg, yeah.
Okay. And you claim he started tickling you, right?
Right.
You tickled back, correct?
Yeah.
And you were watching cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Had you ever watched cartoons with Mr. Jackson before?
I don't remember.
Had you ever watched cartoons with him in Encino?
I'm sorry?
Had you ever watched cartoons with Mr. Jackson in Encino?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember either Mr. Jackson tickling you or tickling him at the home in Encino?
I don't remember any of that in Encino.
Where was your mother, if you know, when you say you were improperly tickled?
I don't.
Did she come back at some point?
I had to have left there with my mother, so I think she did.
And how old were you on that particular day?
I answered that already, and I thought 7.5. 7, 8.
Okay. You told the jury that you tickled each other and then you went to the floor and you don't remember after that, correct?
I don't remember after what?
You went to the floor.
I don't remember after he was playing with my balls.
Well, that's what you said later on. Earlier interviews you denied that, didn't you?
I think we're vague now.
Yeah.
I'll object as vague.
Sustained.
Early in your interviews, you denied being touched in your private areas, didn't you?
Yeah, I was scared.
They were pretty long interviews, weren't they?
I believe so. Yeah, they were. They were long in my time. To a kid, an hour's a long time.
Do you remember in your first police interview in 1993 telling the police, "I'll just say this out flat. I don't remember him trying anything with me except for the tickling." Do you remember that?
Do I remember saying that?
Yes.
No, but I've heard that on The Voice. Yeah, I was fighting them with everything I had.
I understand. I understand. You told the police that at that apartment there was a humongous TV, right?
In what apartment?
Mr. Jackson's apartment, where you say you were improperly tickled, right?
The hideout?
That's what you call the hideout. I'm calling it the apartment. You call it the hideout, right?
Okay, my mom called it the hideout. That's why I called it the hideout.
You told the police in 1993 there was a humongous TV, right?
I don't know.
You said, it was 46-inch, something like it.
I'm going to object as to hearsay.
I don't know.
Just a moment. Sustained. You need to wait until I rule on the objection.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you remember telling the police in that interview, "We started tickling each other and my mom just grabbed me and, let's go"?
I don't remember.
Would it refresh your recollection if I just show you a page of it?
Probably would.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
What page?
It would be page 26.
Thank you.
Okay, I see that.
Have you had a chance to look at that? Does it refresh your recollection about what you told the police in that interview?
No, not really.
Well, on a number of occasions, you told them, "We tickled each other and then I left," didn't you? Words to that effect.
Yeah, again, I was fighting with everything I had.
I'm not asking you what you were doing. I'm just asking if that's true, okay? On a number of occasions, you said, "We just tickled each other and then I left," right?
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes. And then I also told them that he molested me.
On many occasions in that interview you denied being molested, didn't you?
Yeah, at first.
And the police kept leaning on you to admit you had been molested, true?
It wasn't like a twisting the arm. I was again fighting. I didn't want to be embarrassed at school. I didn't want to be embarrassed anywhere. I was 13.
So you were lying to the police?
Yeah, I was at first.
Okay, now, shortly after this, let me rephrase that. How long after this did you and your mother get lawyers and threaten to sue Mr. Jackson? Do you know?
Objection is compound, you and your mother. And vague.
Sustained. Compound.
Do you remember in that interview being asked, "Is Mr. Jackson touchy-feely?" And you said, "I don't remember. I distinctly don't remember."
I don't remember that interview.
Would it refresh your recollection if I show you that page?
If you show me the page, I'm still not going to remember.
Well,
I could, if it says on the transcript, then I'll say, okay, I said it when I was younger. But I don't remember right now.
But you've listened to the tape and read the transcript to prepare for today, correct?
This is pretty nerve-wracking being here right now, so for me to say I'm prepared for this? I'm not prepared for this.
Well, I do have to ask you questions, you understand that?
I totally understand.
Okay. Now, you told police in that interview. They asked you if Mr. Jackson was touchy-feely, and you said, I don't remember. I distinctly don't remember. Remember that?
Do I remember that? No, I don't remember that.
Might it refresh your recollection if I just show you that page?
We just did this again.
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
Remember telling the police you just remember the tickling. It was fun?
It was fun to be tickled, to laugh. That's fun.
Okay. That's what you told the police in that interview, correct?
What I'm telling you right now is that it's fun to laugh. I don't know what I told them.
Might it refresh your recollection if I just show you a page of transcript?
I'll agree with it if it says it on there, but to remember that all right now, I don't remember.
You told the police Mr. Jackson never kissed you, right?
I remember saying that. I remember hearing that on the tape.
And you told them that he just hugged you goodbye when you left with your mom, right?
At first. I believe that's in the very beginning of the transcript.
You were asked if you had met Brooke Shields by the police. Do you remember that?
Objection. Hearsay.
Sustained.
Did you ever meet Brooke Shields?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
Heck if I know.
Do you remember whether or not Mr. Jackson was dating Brooke Shields at that point in his life?
Objection. Speculative.
You may answer.
When I was.
The question is, do you know? Just, yes, or, no.
Okay, I don't know.
Now, at this point, do you know whether or not you've ever obtained money from Mr. Jackson?
One more time.
At this point in time, do you know whether or not you've ever obtained money from Mr. Jackson other than what you just described?
Other than the money that he put down my pants?
Yes.
Yes.
At some point you and your mother settled a case with Mr. Jackson, correct?
I don't remember signing papers.
You're how old today?
I'm 24.
And you're telling the jury you don't know whether you and your mother ever reached a financial settlement with Mr. Jackson?
There was a financial settlement.
Okay, and when did you learn about that?
I believe I was 17.
Do you remember signing documents in that?
At 17, I don't remember.
Okay, do you remember looking at that agreement?
At 17, I did not look at that agreement.
And now, at 17, you knew that your mother had already gone on television attacking Mr. Jackson, right?
When she was on hard copy, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. At 17, I heard she had already been on hard copy.
And at some point she met with attorney Larry Feldman, did she not?
I don't know.
Okay, but at 17, you certainly knew that your mother had hired attorneys who were threatening to sue Mr. Jackson if they didn't get some money, right?
No, I do not.
Didn't know anything about that at 17?
Call me a stupid kid. I didn't know.
Okay, but you certainly learned about it at some point?
Yeah, I learned about it at some point.
Which did you learn about the fact that your lawyers were threatening to go public and sue Mr. Jackson unless you and your mother got money?
All of that stuff I don't know about. I knew that there was a settlement. I don't know how they fought, or what they argued about, or what they talked about.
You've never discussed it with your mom?
About? I have never discussed what, the settlement?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Have you ever discussed how the settlement came about with your mom?
No.
Okay. And do you remember reading a settlement document?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
You were asked to sign a settlement document at some point, right?
Probably.
And in that document, Mr. Jackson denied doing anything wrong, correct?
Objection. Assumes facts not in evidence.
Sustained.
Do you know whether or not in that settlement document you signed Mr. Jackson denies ever doing anything wrong?
Objection. No evidence he signed it, he viewed a document or signed a document.
The objection is sustained. He said, when you asked him if he signed it, he said, probably. So you haven't established that he signed it.
Okay. At the age of 24, and as you sit here today, you don't know if you ever signed a settlement document with Mr. Jackson?
That is correct.
As you sit here today, at the age of 24, do you know if your mother ever signed a settlement document with Mr. Jackson?
I think she did.
Do you know if any money has come your way through a settlement with Mr. Jackson?
Money has, yes.
Okay, and when did you first learn about that?
I answered that I thought. At 17.
Okay, and you've had many discussions with your mom about that, right?
No, me and my mom have a weird relationship. Well, not a weird relationship. We just don't talk about much stuff.
Okay. Do you remember constantly telling the people who interviewed you in 1993 that you didn't remember Mr. Jackson doing anything improper?
I don't remember now, but in listening to the tapes, I remember when at first I was denying everything.
You've told the police that he tickled you, you tickled him, you both laughed, and then you went home, right, early in the interview?
I think I told him that I blacked it out yeah.
And you told the police at one point as they tried to get you to say he had molested you, you said, if I don't remember, right?
Yeah.
The police kept trying to tell you to say that Mr. Jackson put his hands somewhere that was improper, right?
No, they didn't.
Do you remember these long paragraph questions where they'd say, essentially, admit to us he did something improper?
They said, if he did something, then tell us. That's what I remember. You could give me that, and I'll read it.
Would it refresh your recollection if I show you one of the paragraph questions they asked you?
Well, I'm telling you what I remember. It's not going to change my memory.
It's not going to change your memory to look at the transcript?
No, what I remember is them telling me, if he did something, then tell us. And no, I'm not gay. I was fighting it again.
You repeatedly told them, I have nothing to tell you. I don't remember anything, right?
I'm sorry?
You repeatedly told them you had nothing to tell them because you didn't remember anything improper?
In the very beginning, yeah.
Yes. Now, in your response to the prosecutor's questions about the first time you say you were improperly touched, okay?
Okay.
Did you say words to the effect, at some point we were on the floor?
I believe I did, yeah.
Okay. And then you said, in response to the prosecutor's questions, I can't remember anything after that, right?
I'm sorry?
After saying that you went to the floor, earlier today.
Okay.
You then said, I don't remember anything after that, correct?
I'm going to object as asked and answered.
Sustained.
Do you remember anything that happened after you went to the floor during the first time you say you were improperly touched?
Isn't that the same question that you just asked?
Your Honor, could the witness be instructed to respond?
I'm not certain as to the.
Just a moment. To the witness. The problem we have is you don't get to object to his questions. If the district attorney wants to object, he can. If the district attorney doesn't object, then you just answer the question.
Okay.
Just a moment. I'll have the question read back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sorry. Record read. After he touched me? Like in my genitalia?
Did you then go to the floor?
I thought we were already on the floor.
You're asking him a different question.
Okay. Do you want the first question? Do you want the first question read back again? I'll start again, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay. You said you were sitting in a chair with Mr. Jackson, right?
Okay. I was on his lap, yeah.
You said you were tickling each other at one point, right?
Right.
And at one point you said you went to the floor, correct?
Right.
Were you tickling each other on the floor, as far as you remember?
As far as I remember, I believe so, yeah.
And there was a lot of laughing going on, right?
Yeah.
And then at some point your mom came back, right?
Did I say that?
I'm just asking you.
Just answer.
No, I'm literally asking you. No, I don't think I said that.
Didn't she come back at some point and then take you home?
She must have, yeah. She had to have taken me home.
In your interview in 1993, the police asked you if Mr. Jackson rubbed your penis, and you said, no, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
In the beginning, yeah.
Well, pretty late in the interview, wasn't it?
I have no clue.
You said, it was a tickling. He didn't rub me there, correct?
Oh, okay. If we're going that.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was playing with my stuff, not rubbing it. In a stroking manner.
I know the point you're trying to make to the jury, but I'm just asking you the facts, okay?
I think that's argumentative.
Sustained.
You told the police that he never rubbed me there. It was just a tickling, correct?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Overruled. You may answer.
One more time.
I'll have the court reporter. Record read.
I don't remember.
Would it refresh your recollection if I show you a transcript?
I don't remember. I'll say I don't remember, but I'll agree with what the transcript says.
Okay, well, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. Would you like to look at it?
Okay.
May I approach, Your Honor?
All right.
What page, counsel?
45.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to look at that transcript?
I did.
Does it refresh your recollection about what you told the police in that interview?
No, but in reading it, it said, well, yeah, in the very beginning of that sentence.
It says, well, yeah, he's not rubbing it, but tickling, right?
That's what it said, I believe.
And you said it was on top of your pants, is that correct?
The first time.
Yes.
That he molested me?
The first time you say he molested you, you say it was on top of your pants, right?
Pants or shorts? My clothing.
You said he never put his hands in your shorts, right?
Right now? Do I say he never? No, he did it at the very end. The last time he molested me, he did put his hands in my shorts.
Okay, we're talking about the first time.
The first time he didn't.
Okay, and how much time elapsed, if you know, between the first time you say you were touched and the second time?
I'm guessing a year.
And how much time elapsed between the second time you claim you were improperly touched and the third time?
I'm guessing 2 years.
Okay, so let me just, for the record, get your ages each time. The first time you were around 7, right?
Sounds about right. 7, 7.5.
The next time you were around 8?
8, 8.5, or 9. Yeah.
And the third time you're how old, do you think?
10, 10.5.
Okay, and did you have any contact with Mr. Jackson in between those 3 events you've described?
I believe I did.
Now, let's talk about contact between the first event that you've described and the second. What kind of contact did you have with Mr. Jackson?
Actually, between the first time he molested me and the second time he molested me, I don't think there was contact between those 2 times.
Now, has someone told you to make sure you use the word molest repeatedly in your testimony?
No.
Have you discussed your testimony with any lawyer before you came in today?
No.
Discussed it with your mom before you came in today?
No.
Not at all?
Me and my mom?
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her much.
Does she know you're here today, to your knowledge?
Yeah, I think she does.
You're not sure?
I'm pretty sure she does.
Okay, have you talked to her about it?
About me coming on the stand?
Yes.
No, I have not.
Okay, now, the prosecutor asked you how long the tickling continued the first time, right?
Okay, yes.
But you didn't time how long the tickling continued.
No, I didn't have a stopwatch.
You don't really know how long it continued, do you?
I could go by Woody Woodpecker, but I could go by cartoons, but I didn't have I probably did have a watch on, but I didn't time it.
You've told the police nothing happened skin to skin, right?
At first.
Well, you still say nothing. There was no touching skin to skin.
Objection.
In the first event, right?
Withdraw the objection.
Are we talking? Yes, we are talking the first event, so, correct?
Yes. No skin to skin touching, correct?
Correct. I just sometimes get confused if you're talking first event, second event, third event.
Unless I say otherwise, let's assume I'm talking about the first event. Okay?
Okay.
Now, after that first event happened.
Okay.
You claim you never told anyone about it, right?
Correct.
After the second event happened, you claim you never told anyone about it, right?
After the second time it happened?
Yes.
Yes, I did not.
After the third time it happened, you claim you never told anyone about it, and then suddenly the police came one day, right?
Right.
Okay. Between the first and the second event, how often did you see Michael Jackson?
Between the first and the second?
Yes.
I thought I said none. I didn't think I saw him in between 1 and 2.
You didn't see him at all?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Okay. I mean, your mother still was working for Mr. Jackson, right?
Yeah.
And she used to clean his house, right?
Clean the mansion, yeah.
And would you go over to the mansion with her, still, from time to time?
At times, yeah.
Do you recall seeing Mr. Jackson anytime after, or excuse me, between the first and the second event?
I don't recall it.
Okay. The second event you've described, actually, let me go back to the first one. You said you don't remember how it felt. You were too young, right?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, going back to the first event.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you said, I don't remember how it felt. I was too young, right?
I believe that's what I said, yeah. When he was doing his interview or.
Pardon me?
When he was asking me the questions.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't recall, excuse me. And the year you think that happened was when? When do you think?
The first time?
Yes, please.
I'm thinking, 87, 88.
87, 88?
Yeah, around there.
Okay. 17, 18 years ago, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
You said that you've done some therapy, right?
That I've gone through counseling, yeah.
Yes. And without going into what you said, because that's confidential.
Okay.
Have you done anything, exercises or anything, to try and refresh your memory about what happened in 87 or 88?
No.
Okay. And has any representative of the police department been involved in any of your counseling sessions?
No, I don't think so. Well, there was the one time that I first met Mr. Snedden, I think that's his name. And it wasn't a counseling session. But Mike Kraft, which was my counselor, was there.
Was there with Mr. Snedden present?
I think he was there, but I was 13.
Okay. And to your knowledge, was Mr. Snedden talking to your counselor?
I don't know.
Okay. This is 12 years ago, approximately?
In 93.
Okay. Okay.
Or 94.
Okay. But you don't know what your counselor or Mr. Snedden said to each other, right? You wouldn't know?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. Do you know how long Mr. Snedden and your counselor met?
Objection. Assumes facts not in evidence, that they met.
Overruled. You may answer.
I don't even know if they met. Well, they had to have met because they were in the same room, if they were in the same room. But I don't know.
Do you know where they were in the same room?
Yeah, when they were in front of me.
Do you know where that room was?
Yeah, it was in where I got my counseling. It was my counselor's office.
So Mr. Snedden came to your counselor's office, correct?
That's what I'm telling you this, because I think I remember meeting him there.
Okay. Do you know if your counselor's been in touch with Mr. Snedden?
I don't.
Do you know if he's spoken to Mr. Snedden at any time other than that day?
I don't.
Okay. Alright. Now, the second time you claim you were improperly tickled, you said you were lying on top of a sleeping bag, correct?
In or on, yeah.
Well, you told the police it was on top. You were not in, right?
I think it says that on the transcripts.
Okay. And that was a large sleeping bag that took up most of the floor, correct, as far as you remember?
I can't see a sleeping bag taking up the whole floor in a room, now, because it's gigantic. But I think I said that when I was younger.
Okay. Do you remember mentioning Steven Seagal to the police?
Yeah, I do.
And why did you Steven Seagal?
Why did I mention him? I don't know. Because I played pool against him, I think.
Was that with Michael Jackson?
I think he was there.
Okay. Was that at Neverland? Do you know?
I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was at Neverland. It was at Neverland.
Now, in the second event that you've described, You also claim that there was no skin-to-skin touching, correct?
On the second event, yes, that is what I claim.
And what you said was that also began like tickling, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You were tickling each other, right?
I'm sorry?
You were tickling each other at that point?
Yeah, it started off with him tickling me.
Okay. And that was at what you call the hideout as well, right, the second event?
Yes.
Okay. Where was your mom at that point?
I don't know, not in the room.
Okay, alright. You're on the floor, and you're in that position you described, right?
What, when he's kind of spooning in and holding me? Yeah.
And he starts tickling you, right?
Correct.
You tickle him back, right?
Probably.
You're watching television, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sorry. I am watching TV, but I don't know whether I'm tickling him back or watching TV.
You're both laughing, right?
Probably.
And then you say at some point he improperly tickled you in your private area, correct?
Yeah, he did.
Do you remember telling the police it was no more than a 30-second thing?
I don't remember that.
Would it refresh your recollection if I show you a portion of the transcript of your police interview?
It wouldn't. I could look at it again, but it wouldn't make me remember.
Do you want to give it a try?
Okay.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Have you had a chance to look at that page?
I did.
Does it refresh your recollection about what you told the police?
No.
You don't remember their asking you if it was just like a passing thing, and you said, it's no more than a 30-second thing.
Counsel, that's not how you refresh recollection. He said it didn't refresh his recollection.
Okay. Do you remember telling the police, when they asked you how long it was, you don't know, we were just laughing the whole time?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay. Do you remember being asked if anything improper happened at the ranch, and you said, I was around too many people?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember police saying to you, did anything improper ever happen at the ranch? And you said, I was around too many people.
I remember hearing that on the tape.
Okay, but you don't remember saying that?
I don't remember saying that.
Do you remember hearing your voice say that on the tape?
Correct.
And in that 1993 interview, when it came to talking about what happened at the arcade, you didn't know if he'd really touched you improperly, right?
I knew.
Well, you kept responding, I don't know, and then you'd say, if he really did touch, it was in the arcade.
No.
And you were asked, do you think he did it? And you said, I don't know.
I knew.
But you told the police you didn't know, correct?
I don't remember. If you bring that thing to me again, I'm going to, yes.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at it?
Yes, bring it over.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
You should just drop one off. Okay.
What page, counsel?
That would be 57 and 58.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to look at those pages?
I did.
Does looking at those pages refresh your recollection about what you have told the police?
No.
In 93?
I was 13, 11 years ago.
You weren't even sure you were tickled at all. Remember that?
I don't remember that I knew.
Remember telling the police, you guys are pushy.
Yeah, I remember telling the police that.
Okay. And after they kept pushing you, you finally said, you know, I think he did tickle me, right?
No.
Do you remember that? Do you remember at first saying you didn't know, and then after?
Yeah, I remember saying at first, I don't know.
And after telling the police, you guys are pushy, you eventually finally said, yes, he tickled me, right?
I believe that's how it went.
Okay. You kind of went back and forth during the interview, didn't you? 1 second you'd say, he tickled me, and the next second you'd say you're not sure, right?
I was trying to figure out how to get out of there.
I understand. And you remember exactly how you felt in 1993 during the interview, right?
The feeling of, yeah, crying and crappiness.
Okay. Do you remember the police kept trying to get you to say he's a molester?
No.
Would it refresh your recollection if I show you what one officer said to you about that?
Bring it over.
May I approach?
Perhaps the witness could indicate whether it would refresh his recollection.
It wouldn't.
When he said, bring it over, that sort of means like he'll see if it refreshes his recollection.
Okay.
It's a shortcut. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We're down to the last seconds here. Run. Laughter.
What page, counsel?
60.
What line, please? It's not numbered. Never mind.
Towards the bottom. Towards the bottom.
Okay.
You're 13 years old. You're sitting there, and one officer said to you.
Wait a minute now. Are you going to ask him if it refreshes his memory?
Have you had a chance to look at that transcript? Does it refresh your recollection that an officer looked at you said?
Just a moment, counsel.
Okay.
He said, no, it didn't refresh his recollection. All right, this is the end of the day. Laughter. See you tomorrow. Go to bed 1 hour early.